here before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. All right. So who, I'm going to guess, but who's never meditated? Okay, cool. All right. So this is something that for those of you that hear me say all of this all the time, so you can just like either shut me off or let it really sink in, because it's the repetitiveness of the nature, and then it will make something wonderful happen for you maybe. So we meditate because it's just like a discipline for your mind. So just like Chris had to teach me how to make a basket, and so I had to practice and I had to practice and I had to practice and I had to practice. I couldn't just do it one time. We can't create a gap between our reaction-based mentality to our responding skill set unless we practice all the time. And the only way to practice that is to literally sit on a cushion or sit still and do what you can to be more focused on each thought as it comes in. We are designed to think. That's what our brain is designed to do. It thinks roughly 60,000 thoughts a second. So that's a lot of thoughts. When people say, clear your mind, empty your mind, think of nothing, it's not really possible. We can't do that because we're always thinking about something, because something's always in there, or we always have an awareness of something. So the skill comes in when we can have like almost like a laser focused awareness on each individual thing that we're doing in each moment of our life. We are either, and I use this generally, kind of lingering in the past on things, which is usually a lot of regret, a lot of just woulda, shoulda, coulda, and stuff like that. There's oftentimes anger in that past thinking, or we're really focused on the future. And when we're hyper focused on the future, that's where all of our anxiety goes. So one can be kind of depressive, and then the other one can be just really anxious. And so the way that we work through that I don't like this word necessarily, but to combat it, if we could, is to literally just sit on a cushion and learn how to do that. Learn how to be with one thought at a time, one thing at a time. And it's difficult. So it requires a lot more skill than you think. But the payoff is like unbelievably monumental. The payoff is like you can read better, your test scores go up, your job performance goes up, your ability to be able to like process things and your relationships improve. You don't argue as much. I mean, there are so many benefits to it. The list just goes on and on and on if you can do this. So we hold these classes weekly specifically to give people an opportunity to practice something that is really just sitting still and being present at one thing at a time. Whether that be your breathing, whether that be like there's things that maybe you don't notice or that you do notice, like the sound machine or the ceiling fans or the air conditioning. It's like if you can just be with that one thing uninterrupted for a little while, and then as soon as a thought comes in, you can go, oh, okay, super cool. I recognize you, but I'm focusing on the sound machine, or I'm focusing on the air conditioning, whatever the case may be. What that does is over time, that talking that shows up in your head, hey, don't forget you have to do this tomorrow. Hey, don't forget this happened to you last week. Hey, you know what I mean? That starts to get quieter and quieter and quieter. That's the goal. That's why we do this, okay? Because that's what I think, I believe in my heart, that's what everybody wants. They are looking for a peaceful, manageable mind. Because if you can have a peaceful, manageable mind, everything in your life just becomes easier, truly. So that's why we're here. Then we meditate in a group because we get to enjoy the benefit of everybody else's energy. So I bring this up for a reason. And this is another thing that I talk about a lot. So again, you guys can shut this off if you want to, but there's sometimes you hear people say, oh, that person's energy just brings me down. Oh, I don't ever want to be around that person. They have bad energy, blah, 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 blah. And we hear things like that a lot. But really, when people come into a meditation room, even if they like are in a real poopy place in their life, they are coming to meditate because they are hoping to feel better. So just the hope that they're trying to feel better automatically makes them better. So there is no bad vibes in this room. There's no bad juju in this room. So if we like commingle energy, we're all super cool and everything's great. Okay. So you don't have to worry. No flicking off anybody's gross stuff. Okay. And that's important. All right. Because we're all here for the same reason. We just want to feel better. And we like a community. And we like a community of like-minded people where they're safe and there's love and there's acceptance. And so why not, right? We can be here and it's a good space. All right. So enough lecturing. So tonight we are going to focus on, this is the month of gratitude. So we're going to be focusing on this idea of gratefulness. What is that shows up inside of us? And it's like a little teeny seed. Does anybody remember the movie Never Ending Story? I might be dating myself a little bit, but okay, it was such a good story, right? It was the best. And that big, huge doggy thing that he would like fly on, it was the best. Does anybody remember at the end of the movie how there was like the nothing had taken everything away? Everything was gone. And the princess gave the little boy this little teeny weeny glowing seed, right? And then he had to go and recreate everything. So that's hope. That seed is hope. But that seed of hope only comes from gratitude. We have to find something to be grateful for. So we can go and take that gratitude and we can start to make seeds inside of us for hope. All right. And that's what we can do. So then we can go through and we can ride the big dog and we can like fly all over the place and recreate our world. So I actually want to go watch that movie again. I love that movie so much. And if anybody has not seen that movie, I strongly suggest you look it up on Netflix. If they even have it on there, it's the worst, man. I used to have everything on VHS and DVD, and now it's like I can't find half my stuff on normal, whatever it is, that Netflix, Amazon, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So Quentin, before you park it, will you just turn the back ones off? And then these down just a little bit. I feel like that, oh, too much. That's good. That's good right there. Yep. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, everybody. So if you're not comfortable in your seated position, if you want to lie down, you may. Please keep your feet on the floor and your knees to the ceiling so that you don't fall asleep, right? Big difference, no nodding off in our meditation. Okay. All right. So for those of you that are lying down, again, we're just elongating that spine. And for those of you that are seated, we're going to go ahead and kind of roll our sit bones into our cushion and start to get our head in line with our shoulders and coming over our shoulders, over our heart, and then this top part of our rib cage centered over our pelvis. And then you can have your hands palm face up with chin mudra if you want to. You can have them palms face down if you want to. If it's cold in here, something I like to do once it starts to get cooler outside is if you're feeling more feminine energy in your body, then you take your left hand and you place it underneath your right. If you're feeling a little bit more masculine energy in your body, take your right hand and put it underneath your left and then kind of hold it in like almost like a cupping position in your lap. That's also nice. It kind of keeps your body a little bit warm, but if you're hot, and you can also have it out. So your eyes should be gently closed, not pinched shut. Might even want to like loosen up your forehead just a little bit. Loosen up your jaw so that your teeth are not touching and your tongue is nice and loose in your mouth. It should be that muscle can get real tense. Just let it get nice and loose. Just be nicely aware of the breathing. You can really start to just focus on your breathing. Start to feel and be really aware of that rise and the fall of your chest. So the inhale, the expansion of your chest, the exhale, letting it fall back down. If it's available to you, and if you can direct your breath into your diaphragm, that's a really nice place to be so that it actually opens up your belly, and then there's a big belly breath. Still following that same nice slow inhale, nice slow exhale. If you can, bring your imaginary gaze point up to the center of your forehead, if it's available to you. It's almost like you're crossing your eyes and then looking up with your eyes closed. Taking a moment to just allow yourself to imagine something really beautiful about this state that we live in. Perhaps it's how great our sunsets are. Perhaps it's the wild flowers in the spring. Perhaps it's all the different variants of rock, depending on where you go within the state. It's finding that one thing and allowing yourself to see it as clearly as you can. Even if you're not somebody who can visualize things, just imagine it. Imagine the colors of the sunset, or imagine the colors of the rock. Allow yourself to be deeply grateful for your eyes. The fact that these eyes can see the beauty of this state that we live in. That our eyes can see amazing things like wild horses or coyotes. Our eyes can see things like birds riding thermal waves in the air and circling around. Just saying thank you to your eyes for just a moment, for allowing you to see so many wondrous things in this state. Now let's take a moment to envision, if we can, the way that the desert smells after rain, or the way a beautiful rose, a pink rose, has such an incredible, vibrant smell. Allow yourself to imagine the smell of a beautiful batch of cookies or bread. That feeling when you come home and you can smell a meal that's been prepared. When you're out in the wilderness, and even something as fun as like a wildlife, like a skunk off in the distance, you can smell it and you know it's close because you're in the wilderness. Just take a moment to be deeply, deeply grateful for your nose and your sense of smell. Now, dialing into the sound of rain, the sound of thunder off in the distance, the sound of water going down a stream, the sound of birds cooing and making noise early in the morning. Being so deeply grateful for your hearing, hearing children laughing when they're playing, hearing somebody that you care about tell you that they love you. So grateful for your ability to hear. Being deeply in tune with your tongue and your taste. Being able to taste lemons fresh off of a tree, or oranges fresh off of a tree, or grapefruits. How that sensation hits you in the back of your mouth. Taste of something fresh like a cucumber. And then something fun like a cookie. Fresh out of the oven, melting in your mouth. So grateful for your sense of taste. How your tongue allows you to enjoy each beautiful gift from this earth. Allowing yourself to imagine that you are on a nice cool day with the nice beautiful warmth of the sun on your skin, feeling the contrast of the cool air with the warmth of the sun touching you. Or being able to feel a rock that you found on the ground and all the textures of it, or if it's completely smooth because it was a river rock. The feeling of being able to go into a creek or a river and feel the cold water on your skin. Just allowing yourself to be deeply, deeply grateful for your sense of touch and awareness. Being deeply grateful for every part of your senses that helps you appreciate being alive, and living in this life, living in this state, being in your body. And allow that feeling of gratitude to just completely envelop you, starting from the inside all the way out around your body like a little bubble. Pay attention to where you feel that sensation in your body. You can very, very, very slowly start to bring awareness back to the tip of your nose. So that you can start to feel that rise and that fall of your chest and your belly as you allow yourself to bring movement back into your fingers and into your toes. And you can begin to move around a little bit, but let your eyes be that last thing to come back online. We forget to be grateful for like these really simple things, right? And they're like simple things. I love cookies. I haven't had a cookie in a long time, but I really love cookies. Me too, Pete. You have my heartbeat with the cookies and the cannolis. I moved and now the little thing like adjusted there. I have to move around because it like the little camera did a little dance when I moved. But we forget to be really grateful for these really simple things. You know, we live in the state of Arizona. Do you guys have any idea how lucky you are? I say this all the time. So I grew up in Chicago, Illinois. I lived there until I was 14. Then I moved here when I was like toward the end of my 14th year. And I just remember my dad, one day we were standing in the backyard and I just saw this amazing sunset. It was so incredible, it like took my breath away. And like I said, I lived in the suburbs of Chicago. We didn't see a lot of sunsets that were super cool. It just didn't happen. And and I said, "Oh my gosh, you guys, I have the most beautiful sunsets here, Dad." And you have to understand, I didn't live with my dad for like 10 years. I didn't get to see him, and I just got to live with him again. And he said, "We, honey, I need you to say we have the prettiest sunsets." And I remember when he said that, I was like, "Oh, that's right. I live here, don't I?" And it just made me like really appreciate being a part of whatever this was that I was coming into, you know, this incredible state. And so we live in this incredibly beautiful state, and it has its foibles. We have a lot of pollution, and if you go hiking, you can see it. And you just laugh at it, that little brown cloud, and it's just like, ugh. And we have a lot of traffic, and you know, it doesn't make any difference. I went away and I lived in Northwest Indiana. My little family, Quentin was little at the time, and we lived in Northwest Indiana for about 7 years, I think it was. And I swore when I came back, I would never complain again. I was like, I will never complain again. After seeing the gray sky and the gray ground and the gray, 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 gray from about November until March, like everything was gray. Felt like there was a ceiling on top of my head that I couldn't get off of me no matter how hard I tried. I was like, I'll never complain. I'll never ever complain. And so if I'm having a crappy day, I just need to go outside and go watch the sunset. And it's like, it's gone. I mean, like, it's so good, you know? And so it's those little things. We just have to remind ourselves to be grateful for the little things that we have because we get to live in this really cool place. Chris grew up in the mountains in Cholo, and so the valley is not like his favorite place, but he loves the sunsets and the sunrises, right? And so like he's found that's his piece, right? So is that so, and it's still hot and it's this and it's that, but it's like it doesn't matter. We live in the prettiest place ever. So we can create that never-ending story energy just by being grateful for these little things and make this world perfect and amazing in every way. So that's my prayer for you guys tonight. Okie dokie artichokes, in the way of announcements, just so that everybody knows, the hiking club we have this Saturday, they're going to Prospectors Point? View, I don't know, the old Prospector. We're going to Prospectors View, and so that's in the Superstition. So if you want to be included in that, it is free. If you need carpooling, if you want to coordinate with people, you just need to contact Quentin and or text message in the studio, and he can get you kind of hooked up with that.
I'm going to be sending out messages for people that want to carpool tomorrow. So if you're interested, sign up. It's on the website, so just sign up now. Tonight, when I say now.
Right now.
To clarify.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to meet there at 9 a.m. But for the people that are going to carpool, we'll be meeting here at the studio at 8 a.m. It's just north of Lost Dutchman State Park.
Okay. Cool. And then we have our donation-based class on Thanksgiving morning that is going to be taught by Christina Rich, and it will be at 9 a.m. and it'll be 1 hour and 15 minutes. It is a donation-based class, so please donate what you feel is good and right for that class. And then the rest of the day we're closed on Thanksgiving. And then on Friday morning, it starts our Black Friday sale. And so we'll have sales on packages and things like that for classes. And then the boutique items in the store, everything in the store will be 10% off. So there's that. Then on Friday also, we have our kids yoga class. So that will be on Friday from 12 o'clock until 1:30. And so Jessica has some really, really cool like stuff planned for that as well. They're going to be like making gratitude baskets and then like doing all asana surrounding gratitude and opening their hearts and stuff. So it'll be really cool. And I think that's it, right, Quint? That's it for November?
I just want to clarify, so that's 2 weeks from this Friday.
Correct. Thanksgiving weekend.
Next week, just to make it clear.
Yeah.
Next week we don't really have.
And no middle road this month or next month because Thursday, unfortunately, is Thanksgiving this month and Christmas next month. So we'll start back up again in January. All right, everybody. See you guys later. Good night. Thank you.